beautiful people. This is April from Autumn Wolf Unlimited Pet Training, and just like last video, we are going to talk about the learning theory. And today, specifically, we're talking about, I'm going to back up a little bit. And today, specifically, it is cognitivism. Whoa, dropped my notes. Of course, I have my notes, guys. So, before we get started, I do want to very quickly make a note about my makeup. I realize that not a whole lot of people are really into this really weird, crazy makeup. I mean, I don't know if you can tell because I'm trying to not make the lights like glare down at me anymore. I noticed that in some of the videos it was doing that, and that's not really cool. But as you can tell, today it is very weird. I've got purple lips. She looks really pink in here, but anyway, purple lips, purple on the top of my eyelid, purple underneath, or blue underneath, and then like half a blue brow, and the other half is purple. So I get it. These looks are very, very weird. They're not traditional looks. I just want to very quickly make a note of that. I think of myself as an artistic person, and my makeup is one way I can actually get those artisticness, these artistic urges out, while I currently do not have any paint, which is what I would really like. But as of now, I just have makeup, and I have a blank canvas right here, so I use it. And I do want to go ahead and let you guys know, I do not go to work, which is working for you, essentially. I do not go to your house or, another client's house, anywhere where I am getting paid looking like this. I do not wear makeup at all whenever I go to work. This is just what I like to do in my own time when I'm not working and when I'm bored. This is how I express myself, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. And it has no reflection on how I'm going to work with you and your dog. Actually, I take that back. It does. It's very creative, and I will be very creative, and I will think outside of the box, and I will do really strange but awesome things. In my opinion, I view dog training as a science and an art, and I personally feel like this is one way I can show that I am an artistic person, and then whenever I, of course, do these videos on science, it shows that I am also scientific. Usually. I am also a spiritual person, and I do not think that those are mutually exclusive. And in a lot of ways, I think science actually supports a lot of spiritualism, but that's definitely not the video that we are on. So, cognitivism. Now, if you watched the video last time, which I will link in the description below, but if you watched the video last time, then you will know that last time we talked about behaviorism. And cognitivism is different in the sense that it does not just focus on behavior. Of course, behaviorism is just focusing on behavior. Cognitivism actually focuses on how things are learned and how they are then recalled. More specifically, cognitivism looks at the brain as if it's an information processor, like a computer. It looks at the brain more as a computer with different programs and pathways and all that other good stuff. And it essentially looks at how a student is capable. We are focusing on a student's perception, a student's thoughts, their memory, their learning ability, and their attention. So in other words, it's looking at how we are effectively teaching that behavior. Because again, if your student is not paying attention, you're probably not being a very effective teacher. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. So when we are thinking of trying to teach a behavior, that's another thing that we need to consider, is actually effectively teaching that behavior. I'm sorry guys, I did film this already and it deleted. I don't know how. So my throat's a little bit sore and I'm a little bit out of breath. I apologize. So cognitivism basically says that when we're teaching a behavior, it needs to be sequenced and organized and presented in a way that the learner is actually capable of grasping it and understanding it, processing it, and later actually recalling it when they need to. I apologize. So one way that you can test if you're training your dog and you're not really sure if your dog's actually learning, one way you can test that is by bringing them to that situation where you've already trained them and start asking them to perform a series of behaviors, whatever behaviors that you've been working on. And if they do not perform those behaviors, then that essentially means that you are not teaching that effectively. And I hope you understand that I mean no offense at all when I say that. It is strictly sciencey talk. It just wasn't effective. It just means that the dog didn't actually learn, which is totally okay. It happens even to professionals, even to people who have been in this business for 30, 40, 50 years. It happens. Trust me, no offense at all. It happens to everybody. It doesn't matter how amazing you are. You cannot be perfect all the time. So if your dog isn't performing these behaviors, then you need to look at how you're teaching that behavior, and you need to decide how you can teach it in a way that your dog is actually capable of learning that information. So it does require you to really understand your dog's likes, really understand your dog's dislikes, and really understand how their brain is processing things. Excuse me. How their brain is processing things, how interesting you are to your dog, because that matters a lot, and a whole bunch of other things. And if you aren't 100% certain how to do that, that's when you call in a dog trainer like me to come in and help you and give you these tools so that you can now be like, oh, look at this, I got this. I know how to train my dog. Which is something that a lot of trainers don't really mention, is when we come out to you, we're not just teaching you how to teach sit. We're teaching you or sit down, place, all that stuff. That's not all that we're doing. We're actually giving you these tools so that you are able to teach these behaviors yourself and later teach more. It's awesome. Hire a dog trainer. Seriously, shameless plugging aside, if it's totally cool, you're not interested in hiring me, that's whatever. Hire a dog trainer. I assure you, if you have a dog and you hire a dog trainer, it will change your life. Make sure it's a good one, though. Definitely make sure it's a good one. Which I guess it's kind of difficult to decide if it's a good one or not. Go with your gut is what I'm going to say. If it feels like maybe this person doesn't really know what they're talking about, I would say don't go with them. And if you think, oh, all right, my dog likes them, they seem like they're really friendly, they seem like they know what they're talking about, and they are actually able to communicate with me in a way that I can understand it, once again, cognitivism, then that trainer is probably going to be good. But that's totally off topic. As you can see, I don't really have the organized part down. So moving right along. Going back to the review quiz part that I was just talking about, if you take your dog and you try and teach them a behavior, or try to review a behavior in a place where you've never taken your dog to review that behavior before. For example, if you've only ever taught your dog in your backyard, and then you decide, well, I'm going to take them out to this field and some deer come running by, your dog's not going to listen to you. You have not set them up, you have not prepared them for that. Dogs, unfortunately, learn quite a bit differently. I wouldn't say quite a bit differently, but they learn a little differently than humans. Humans, it's a little bit easier to communicate with them and say, dude, that's not okay. Whereas with dogs, it's not really quite so easy. So once again, if you are having problems, if your dog isn't listening to you, basically, you need to look at how you're teaching your dog, and you need to look at other ways to teach your dog. So what I mean by that, I don't necessarily mean like if you're using a prong collar and it's not working, then you need to throw out the prong collar. I don't use prong collars. I'm just using it as an example. That doesn't mean that the prong collar itself is ineffective. It just means that maybe the way that you're using it isn't working for your dog. That's all that means. Look at how you're using every tool, even food. How are you using food? How are you using toys? How are you using praise? I mean, all of this stuff really, really matters when it comes to training your dog. But I digress. Essentially, you need to be able to teach your dog in a way that your dog is actually able to understand it and process it and later recall it when he needs to. And like I said, that can be a little bit difficult, but essentially it just takes a lot of repetition, and it takes knowing what your dog likes and dislikes. Whew. One more thing. If you are teaching a more complex behavior, whereas sit usually is pretty easy, and if it's not easy, then this still applies to you. When you're teaching a behavior, you want to make sure and teach a subsequent skill set first. Sorry, every time I try to say that word, I just stumble over it. Subsequent. You need to make sure and teach a subsequent skill set first. And what I mean by that really is teach your dog a skill set that is going to aid them in the final behavior. This is basically what shaping is. If you're having problems teaching your dog to actually sit, then first focus on teaching your dog to lean back. Then wait for your dog to bend its knees a little bit. Then wait for your dog to bend its knees a little bit and bend his knees. Oh my goodness. Bend his knees a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until finally the butt is on the ground. Yay, shaping, and also cognitivism. So that is all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel for more, hopefully fun and entertaining, if not, fun and entertaining. Holy cow. Like I said, I apologize. I already spent 13 minutes doing this. My throat hurts. For whatever reason, I practically have to yell at my phone in order for it to be heard. It's no fun at all. So, like I said, thank you guys very much for watching. Follow me on this YouTube channel. That's April Shuyler. Just hit the little subscribe button right below this video. I believe it will also be right under my name. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Got a hiccup. I'm sorry. I am failing so hard. All right. Anyway, YouTube, subscribe to me on this channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's going to be AWOL Unlimited. That is AWOLUNLIMITED. AWOL Unlimited. And that's for both Facebook and Instagram. Once again, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you learned something.